All right, hello and welcome. We're here for our post-match reaction of Southampton 0, Leeds 2. Let's get into it. There we go. It's ended. Southampton 0, Leeds 2. We were fortunate enough to be back at St Mary's, which is a wonderful thing in itself, which we will get onto. We will get onto. But the game has ended in a defeat. In terms of how the game played out, I thought we played very well in the first half, creating a lot of chances. And came to the end of the first half, and I was thinking, do you know what? If we don't get anything out of this game, I'm going to be gutted. I'm going to be absolutely distraught. But
And you
after the
were,
second
and
half,
you were, and you
I
were.
was. The second half, we just went in it, were we? It was just, it just went missing, and we can look at a few things of which we will briefly discuss right now. But I don't know. I just think the changes made at half time just detracted a bit from our momentum, or was it the case that Leeds mixed things up a bit?
I think it's a little bit of both. I think taking Adams off at halftime did really change it. I know Adam did. We both agree that looked a bit gas towards the end of the first half, but still, I probably would have given him another 10 minutes in the next half just to settle it and just get everybody back in the game. I feel like when we make that kind of change at halftime, it affects too much. People are trying to find
Right.
positions again. You're right. We were great first half. We should have put some chances away. Especially as close to the goal as we were, they would have looked. We would have really seen the ripple in the net. It was quite annoying.
Yeah.
So we were great first half, and then second half. But I honestly, like I said when we left the game, it was kind of hard for me to really dictate what much of the game was because I was too busy taking everything in, and also the second half, the game was down the other end of the pitch. We were on the behind the goal, so it was kind of hard to tell what the depth of the play was. It was really quite difficult. But from what I can tell, I'm sure people can correct me afterwards, and when I watch the highlights, could be wrong. But it really did like Leeds had just really pressured us, and their press just worked fantastically well. We just couldn't break that line in the second half, and no one really stepped up in the second half. I thought it was. There was no point in the second half. I was like, they should score. They're looking like they're going to be the one to score. Every time I went up, it was somebody sort of different. The ball was like, maybe Armstrong could run forward. No one looked like scoring. Whereas in the first half, Shea looked like he was going to get a goal.
Yeah,
I think the confidence for Ward-Prowse was there. It was just a bit of the result was a shame, but that wasn't really what it was about for me today, if I'm being quite honest.
Yeah, it did. I mean, like I said, at the end of the first half, I was kind of, as I said, I was thinking, do you know what, we definitely deserve something out of this game. But at the end of that second half, you're just like, do you know, and they were playing such. It was a similar story to what it was at Ellen Road, wasn't it? It was that kind of fast counter-attack football that we were just getting caught out with. And, Hasenhüttl brought on Diallo at a time I was thinking, why is he bringing on Diallo? We need to, break them down. But ultimately, he could see what was coming as the fact that we were being caught out. So, yeah.
Yeah, it was difficult to take, but I feel especially when you see 3 goals going. I know one of them was offside, but you did see us get sort of taken apart a little bit. But there was some, in all fairness, what I will say, before every goal went in, I did kind of mumble to myself, "What a pass!" There's a few times where like, "Wow, that was perfect over the top, pinpoint." I think seeing Leeds play in real life, I was like, "Wow, their energy just didn't stop."
Oh, it's relentless.
They just didn't let up. I was waiting for the entire game for them to just to ease up a little bit, but it just didn't come at any point.
Yeah.
And when you sort to see us and you're like, well, the heads are dropping a little bit, we need to pick up or we need them to drop off. It's like, it's not going to happen. So, we were lucky at the end for it to just be 2-0. Very lucky. But you're right. End of the first half, end of the first half, we felt like very, if we don't come away with something here, we're very lucky. And then by the end of the second half, we're very lucky if we can get anything out of this game. And that's just the way it was, But it was. I think the best way to sum it up is when we saw the lineups when we were outside and we saw how similar it was to the last Leeds match and with the people that he had left out of the squad.
Yeah. Yeah,
In
it was
reality,
kind
at that point, then I should have been like, oh, this could be the same as
mm,
last time.
well, we
But
sort of did, didn't we?
well,
We sort
you
I
did,
did.
and I was like, I'm at St Mary's. I really
I
don't
don't
care.
care. I don't care. I know. I know. But I
But
did
no,
look at that and I was thinking, Why? You know,
yeah,
we've
it
had
was
why mix it up?
the logical brain would have said, we're in for it again today.
Yeah.
But I just decided to take that logic out. In fact, now the match is over and we were sat in Five Guys and being a bit depressed, my logic was still gone because I was like, I've blown my voice out from singing tonight. I've seen everyone wearing the same shirt. I've seen the players on the pitch. Franny Benali waved at me today. What a day. What a
Yeah.
day.
Yeah, his halftime interview was right in front of us. It was quite a wonderful thing. Um, but yeah, no, I think sort of before the game, I just looked at that lineup and I thought, why has he done that? You know, after such a consistent, I mean, we won back-to-back wins. Why would you mix that so much? I mean, I was
Yeah.
thinking, how is he going to factor in a Aurelio Romeo into what's worked quite well? And you rightly said, you know, obviously you push Armstrong a bit further forward and you just have him slot in alongside Ward-Prowse, but that was on my mind, and so I was thinking, and then Romeo's not even on the bench, yet we've still got a completely different lineup to what we had at the weekend. I could see
Yeah.
him starting Walcott over Nathan Redmond or Minamino, but Gineppo was a bit surprised. But you got to think maybe he's playing Gineppo because he hasn't factored in the recent results, and he's looked good in training. So
I think
maybe
there's a
that was
bit of that. I think there's also a bit of we're safe. Let's get people out and about on the pitch today. You know, at the end of the day, it doesn't mean too much, apart from the fact that Ralph's trying to push for 13th.
mm,
But I think every player today kind of had a game of two halves. Yeah, exactly. McCarthy pulled off some fantastic saves today,
yeah.
but the two goals that went in, the second one he didn't even dive for,
Yeah,
which
the second one looked very
really,
lethargic.
the second one really annoyed me actually because now the more I thought about it, the more I was like, we all saw these shots coming and they did very well to stop them.
Mm-hmm.
But he knew where this last one was going and he just didn't dive. And I could
Yep.
tell that he made the decision of like you could see him. He was like, "This is going in," and as soon as they hit it, he's like, "Well, there's no point in diving." So,
Mm-hmm.
but I felt like he was close enough to put an effort in. And then
Yep.
the first goal, it went for his legs. It was all over the place, spinny. I'm still of the opinion that Bamford was offside. I saw the replay on my
Yeah.
phone as I was there, and to me, it looked like his head was forward. I understand if he's not, but for me, he looked just as offside as Mason Mount did in the FA Cup.
Yeah. And at the stadium, we didn't have any screens whatsoever. We didn't even have
Yeah,
a clock to look at, so we didn't even know what the time was until the stoppage time went up on the side of the pitch. So I think Southampton need to pay their electricity bill and put those screens back on for the fans because come on, that was a poor show. But yeah, it wasn't that great. As a comment here from a Leeds United fan, thought Southampton were poor. That was Leeds' second team. Take Ward-Prowse and Ings out of that team. It's a relegation battling team. To be honest with you, put Ward-Prowse and Ings in that team. It's been a relegation battling team for the last 3 months. So
yeah.
you know, make of that what you will. But I just think putting Ings on the pitch at half time just kind of span everyone. It just sort of seemed to just
Yeah,
mix it up that step too far, and obviously it added a dimension, but in the same respect, it took one away as well at the same time. So,
and let's be fair, it's not like he came on the pitch and did any Danny Ings bits. There was that one volley that went skew
that
with.
one turn and
Him and Redmond both had these shots that were straight down the middle, and they both went in to the same. They went both exactly into the same tunnel going down. I think the same dude caught it twice. And there was a guy stood on those stairs, and he was there, great hands on him. He was catching those balls on no man's business. But yeah, it just didn't work for Danny, or especially Redders today. Neither of those came out of that game looking good. On the flip side of that, Salasu looked fantastic.
he did.
Salasu looked really, really good.
How many times tonight did I say he's basically Van Dijk, isn't he?
Yeah, I did hear you say that quite a few times. I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure the people around us heard you and side-eyed you, and that's probably why we've got a few less subscribers now.
No, but it's just having a defender with pace.
Yeah, no, it is great.
Defender with pace and can actually, you know, muscle players off the ball. And I should, you know, Vestergaard is great at muscling players off the ball, but he's just not as quick as most would be. Bednarek's pretty decent at sort of jumping in with a decent tackle, but he's not really a muscular frame that can do that kind of thing. So to have Salasu on the pitch, I thought he did great. Commenting from James as well, just jumped in here. Teller should have played longer. I agree.
He was playing very central today, I felt.
He was causing problems.
He was causing problems. But he kind of had this thing where he went down too easy sometimes, and then the times where he should have gone down, he didn't. He seems to not be choosing his challenges enough. I think my biggest takeaway from this game was when James Ward-Prowse hit the wall.
Hit the wall, but his free kick, I didn't realise it actually hit the crossbar on the post. It was a lot closer than I thought it was. So
that was a deep squat moment in the game. That's one of the many jumps up.
Yeah, but there we go. It's not quite ended as we wanted it to, but I can't argue with the result. Can you?
Nah, you can't argue with the result.
We just weren't there in the attacking.
There was no attacking prowess there, and towards the end of the game, that our movement of the ball was just really bad. Like the first half, the pace and the energy, we were just moving, coming at them. I think Leeds were just waiting for us to die off. I think they were just like, right, let them play themselves out, rope a dope it, and then second half go out and do back to them and watch us crumble.
Yeah,
and that is kind of what happened. I mean, we can all say what we want, but to be fair, I did say beginning of the season, one of the main teams I really wanted to see this season was Leeds. And they've been
what you wish for,
and they've been really good.
Yeah,
they've just been really good. And we will, all season people can make fun saying, "Oh, people giving Leeds too much praise for the way they play." But I saw it live today, and some of the passes that I saw, and just the energy, I was like, "This is a really impressive team." It's probably one of the first times where I sort of left the Southampton match going, I'm actually really impressed by the team I've seen. Like even when City hit 100 points, I was still like, "Oh, but it's City though." Today I was like, "Wow, Leeds are a pretty decent team actually." I really enjoyed watching. As much as I hated it. As like even I couldn't help but go, "Wow, that was a good pass," or "Wow, that was a good bit of muscle." I can't believe they got this energy. Yeah. Although Patrick Bamford seemed to die at a certain point in the half, and then he came back from the dead to be absolutely fine.
I kid you not. I thought it was a spinal injury. The way he was led there.
Mike was sincerely worried. Was the chants behind us were just brutal, and I kind of had to sit in the middle of it.
Yeah.
I tell you what was funny. At one point, the referee made a bad decision in the game, and I stood up and screamed, "You're an absolute!" And then I remembered I'm on Matchday Vlogs, and I sat back down again, and I thought, "Wait, hold on." There's no camera, and I can say what I want, but it's now just ingrained in me that I can't swear at referees anymore.
You're fine. You're sat in the Northern Stand. It's absolutely fine.
Yeah, but we had a miniature Matchday Vlogs with us, and I definitely can't do it in front of that.
That's true.
If she wasn't there, maybe I would have let it fly a bit more. But
plenty of us around us doing so.
Yeah, but like we can palm them off. Like I'll have to see her at another time, and I don't want her to lose respect for me already because. I don't have it a lot for everybody else. So if the kids have it, I need to keep it.
Exactly. But there was me genuinely worried for Patrick Bamford, thinking like, has he played his last game of football here? And then all of a sudden he sits up and he gets ushered off the pitch. I'm thinking it's a head injury. He's definitely going to be substituted. And then he just trots back on as if he's just had a plaster stuck over his knee. It's just ridiculous. So
I think my real-time decision of if you're on the ground for more than 2 minutes or more than 3 minutes, you should be automatically subbed off. I feel like that would stop a lot of this from a lot of diving and stuff from happening, people faking stuff. However, it obviously took a bit of a bouting, but I still think like, okay, if you're on the floor that long, you need to be taken off. You need to be substituted. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but there we go. But in all fairness, there's also a moment in the game where Patrick Bamford could have gone down for a penalty and didn't, and then ran over to the ref and said, "What? So I've got to dive then, have I?" And
which we totally agreed with. To be fair, me and Mike were both sat there going, "I'm amazed he didn't go down there. He should have gone down. He would have got a penalty for that."
Yeah.
And he's absolutely right. He shouldn't have to go down to get that penalty because you shouldn't have to squander your play because you've been fouled. Like if you can try and make it through, like, but he just there should still be that play on. Like they don't often do play ons for penalties, which is strange.
No, indeed. But the old cliche game of two halves definitely sums up this one. And my goodness. But let's look at the positive. How was it to be back at St Mary's? I mean, how good was it just to hear the fans singing in the stands. It just, for the fact that we've been effectively watching football on TV for the last 14 months, screaming at our TV streams, and just to be sat there amongst it, it was kind of, like you say, difficult to concentrate on the game sometimes because you're just sort of looking around going, this is great. And then
Honestly,
second half
yeah,
happened.
like it did feel bad. Like even when we were getting, I was like, I don't know what I'm going to say about this match because I was too busy singing and looking around and just seeing other fans and seeing how they react to games. Because really, the only people I've seen watch football is me and you in the past year.
Yeah.
So I was just like, how do other people watch it? What do they do when we're terrible? What's the reaction? And then it was just when they came out on the pitch to warm up, there was a part of me that genuinely got a little bit like, there they are. There are those guys that I've been watching for a year and that I've missed.
The movie stars.
Honestly, it really did. Like for a second, I was like, I'm back. Like we're back. Like this is fantastic. When I saw Ralph walk out with his extremely white sneakers on, I thought, here we are. I mean, I feel like the only downside to the game was, and I understand that we lost that really proper of honor. It is the last game of the season. I would have liked some of the players went straight off the pitch.
Yeah.
I felt like maybe 8,000 fans. I know a lot of them left after the second goal went in, but we were still here. I would have liked to just be able to give you my appreciation for helping me not go insane over the past year.
Yeah. Yeah, no, absolutely.
I had the best day out ever. It was great. It was so good to be back.
And this post match would have been a lot sooner had we not got stuck. They closed an entire road on the way back to our home haunt. So that's
at the second diversion. I did think that maybe we wouldn't do this, but but we're here and it's fine.
It's match day, isn't it? It's match day vlogs. It's not yesterday vlogs.
Match day vlogs. Although in 45 minutes it will be yesterday's vlog.
That's very true. As
the mini match day vlogs kept on reminding me in the car.
Exactly. It was very late by the time. James Van Ranten seeing Theo up close. It felt fake almost. Yeah, no, it was kind of crazy to see.
I can't tell you how much fun it was to shout Theo in the stadium. When everyone was shouting Theo, I was like, oh my God, this is real.
Yeah. And getting your chant going with Armstrong. He's a liar.
I didn't take off today. I granted, but there wasn't a timer, so I didn't know when it was 17 minutes. So people didn't really understand what I was doing. Yeah. I don't think many people know he's a lawyer, but if everyone can just start letting people know,
it's a qualified lawyer.
I want to do.
It's qualified lawyer.
It's such a fun chant. Even if you just do one, it's great. He is a lawyer. I go really hard to do that because I actually have no voice left.
There we go. Well, we've got West Ham up next, away at the worst football ground in the world. But we can't go to that one. But the West Ham fans
that do.
Yeah, West Ham fans get a chance to see their team. Do you see us get anything out of that game?
Weirdly enough, like I would honestly have said that Leeds is harder game, even though that West Ham.
No, I agree.
I
agree. Momentum wise,
fields a team like he did today, probably not. But if Danny starts, if maybe Romeo either gets a start or plays on the bench, I actually didn't feel too bad about the back line. I did get to a certain point get very jaded with the way that we were taking goal kicks, and every play started with Vestergaard taking it out from the back, and it was
from the 5-yard line.
From the 5-yard line, there was just no momentum from it. Like you can't build on that because it's too dead and slow to start off with. So it just that really started to get on my nerves towards the end. I think that was my biggest takeaway was, can we not start every play with Vestergaard? And I don't think a single one of Vestergaard's balls over the top worked today.
No, he couldn't find Kyle Walker-Peters.
He just couldn't
Stevens,
do it.
however.
Stevens was whacking some stuff. Like, Stevens, man, like put him on the correct side, and suddenly he's a good player. Funny that.
Yeah, no, and it was kind of fascinating to see that, both Vestergaard and Stevens had space to run literally directly down. So it was kind of interesting to see that the way that worked out. But
I think that was the one thing that was a bit where we couldn't see the depth. I didn't really know how far they were running, so I was just like, "Is he still going? He's still going. He's going. He's going."
Yeah.
And then I bet if I watch it back, he's only just going past the halfway line. It's not quite as impressive as I thought, but
from where we were sitting. It looked good. It looked good.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Today only really, as much as I enjoyed being behind the goal, being that close to players, it didn't. As soon as I saw those two dudes sat in our seats, I was like, I hate this. Those are my seats up there, and I
Yeah.
won't be able to watch the game properly. I
We
need my
want to go
wall to lean
home.
on, and I need my drink to rest. Like I need all those things.
Exactly. We need the banter with the stewards in the disabled section, you know.
Absolutely. Although
Quick
I'm
shoulder
pretty
bump.
sure I saw our our neighbours at the stadium today.
Oh yeah?
It's been so long. Everyone's changing a year, so I don't know if it was definitely them, but I'm pretty sure it was them.
Yeah. They're coming in from James. Special man to Jack Stevens for making more runs than both wingers.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, it's only in that second half, and you know, it was great to see, you know, Jack looking for players, running down the centre, and you know, he's doing some great stuff. So, but you know, first half was definitely better for us than the second half. But there we go. We could talk all night on this, but ultimately, we've had a chance to go back to St Mary's. It was great. Sadly, we didn't get the result we want, but you know, at least it gives us a bit of a feeling of what to expect in the months ahead, as we move a bit more back to normality. Going to
It was
St
a good
Mary's
bit of
and
primal scream therapy. That's the way I took it tonight. It was a good bit of primal scream, just getting all that years long worth of aggression. I've not been able to let loose in a long time, so that was what it was for more than anything for me. And like you said, return to normality. Nothing's more normal than watching Saints lose at home.
Sadly, yeah, it's the way we did. But I did feel for Ralph, because I was thinking he could really do with a bit of a lift, and to, you know, get a result in front of the fans would have felt a lot better than what that ended up being. But
even his sort of round, his lap at the end was a bit lackluster. Like I felt like, come say hello. I'm not seeing you for a year.
Yeah, well,
I get you deflated, but do you know what would have gotten you up? Like us saying goodbye to them. Like we get like the atmosphere. The atmosphere was great today, by the way. Everyone really killed it. Apart from the chapel end, you're still very quiet, but that's fine. You don't know. You know, the northern end is fine.
Yeah, it's the first time in the northern end for me.
I mean, we sat in the away area section, so it was first for both of us. I've obviously never
just for a
sat
laugh.
in there. The amenities are way worse. They're disgusting.
Yeah, there's no toilets in the away end. It's just a hole. There's a room with a hole in it. Yeah,
a lot of troughs.
So, well done, Samaris.
Weirdly, the drinking trough looks a lot like the urinals, and they all seem to flow together. I don't know. The apple juice I had tastes really weird. That's all I'm going to say.
Oh dear. Oh dear. But there we go. You know, I'll leave it with this comment here. Felt good to be back at St Mary's, and I think that's ultimately what we've tried to spend the last 23 minutes saying, despite the eventual result. But there we go.
Mate,
but anyway,
we were stood there in the pouring rain with that team sheet, and I was more excited than any other game that I've been to.
Yeah.
I think that tells you sort of what sort of day I had today. It was like it didn't matter. The rest of it really didn't matter. It was just being in the stadium with just all Southampton fans.
Yeah.
To a point where I was heavily offended when Leeds scored and their bench cheered. I was like, oh, hold on. There's no cheering for that today.
Well, and Bamford stood in front of us doing this and doing this.
Yeah. Which is, for a dead man, is pretty amazing that he can still do that.
Yeah. He's alive.
He's alive.
There we go. But no, definitely a game of two halves, but we can't argue with the result in the end of the day, can we? So there we go. Well, thanks to everyone who's jumped on this late night, last minute post-match reaction. We will of course be doing the live match watch along back to our normal haunt, which is sat right here staring at that screen talking about football on Sunday afternoon, where every single team in the Premier League will be playing their final game of the season. I'm sure a lot of eyes will be on our game with West Ham. I don't know. Most people are probably looking at the top four race, but no, we will be here as always. But thanks again to everyone who's joined us. As always, remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and we will see you in the next one. All right, see ya.